Gabrielle Bosslet with Lindsay Zimmerman on deck.
My name is Gabriel Bosslet. I'm an ICU physician at IU Health. I've lived in Indiana since 2007. Now, forgive me, I'm a bit nervous. I speak in front of crowds pretty frequently, but this is considerably different than my usual crowd. I'll talk about what I know. Our hospitals are bursting. Prior to the pandemic, the state of Indiana had 1,400 maximum ICU beds. We surged up when the virus is coming in order to deal with what we were going to be facing. Today, there are 1,884 people in ICU beds in Indiana, almost 40% above our usual maximum in April of 2020. And this is growing rapidly. We increased this since December 1st. We have 52 additional COVID-19 patients in ICU beds in the state of Indiana, which means that on Christmas Eve, if this continues, we will have more COVID-19 patients in ICU beds or in hospital beds in the state of Indiana than at any point in this pandemic. We are tired. We have been able to scale up ICU beds and ventilators, but we have not been able to scale up people. There are no more of me. There are no more nurses. In fact, we have less nurses now than we had in April of 2020 because they've left. They're exhausted. What does this mean? This means that yesterday I sat in on a meeting where we decided on contingency plans. Today, we open an ICU that's been shuttered for a decade in order to care for 9 more ICU patients at the hospital in which I work. It means I won't be home for Christmas, which is fine. I can deal with that. This is what I signed up for. What I didn't sign up for is seeing people die needlessly. How do I know that people are dying needlessly? Because vaccines work. How do I know that vaccines work? I'll tell you how I know vaccines work. This weekend, I rounded in the ICU. This is an ICU that normally holds 22 patients. We had 35. We can handle that. Of those 35 patients, 15 of them had COVID-19. One of those people were vaccinated with a single vaccination back in February. None of them were fully vaccinated. I can count on one hand of the hundreds of COVID-19 patients that I've cared for in ICUs, the number that have been vaccinated. So why should you get vaccinated? You should get vaccinated because you all know people who, despite their efforts at vaccinating and protecting themselves, cannot be protected. They are people who have had transplants. They are people who have autoimmune diseases. They are people like my wife who has cancer. These people can take the vaccine, but their immune system may not protect them. So what do they need? They need the rest of us to step up and protect them as well. I'm tired. And if I seem frustrated, I am. Because we've been doing this for almost 2 years, and we can't do it much longer. I just want this to end. I don't want to wear this mask anymore. I don't want to care for dying COVID-19 patients in my intensive care unit. The reason that I submitted to the committee a letter that has been signed by over 460 Hoosier physicians was because we almost unanimously reject the language in this bill regarding vaccines. Why? Because the message this bill sends is that vaccines are not important. Vaccines are important. They're the only way to end this. I'm happy to answer any questions.